Yeah. Hey, hi, hello there. Okay. I'm very sorry. I did not mean to vague post, and apparently I did. So let's start over with this one. I did not mean to vague post and not tell you guys what was going on with the Rachel Reacts situation. Let's see if I can be a little bit more collected now that I've already had my moment. For whatever reason, I just assumed everybody knew what was going on, and I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. I really do. I did not mean to do that. So, for those of you who don't know, the channel Rachel Reacts, who has for the past couple weeks, almost a month at this point, been putting out receipts and screenshots and text messages and stuff between Amberlynn Reed's ex, Emily, aka Tommy, and Amberlynn. She's been putting out videos, very lengthy videos actually, between Emily and Amber. I think I just said that. But she's been getting those screenshots and receipts from Emily. And I have been making, I think I've made 3-4 reactions to those videos that Rachel has been putting out. And Rachel has been receiving some pushback for those videos, and a lot of people questioning, why are we listening to Emily, questioning Emily in general, because, if you follow Amberlynn, I know not all of you follow me for Amberlynn reactions, so I know not all of you are aware of the Amberverse. So I understand why some of you are like, what the hell is even going on? And I apologize for that. I didn't think. And there you go. But that's what I'm talking about. Now, so what has happened about, I think Scar said 9-ish days ago, as of yesterday-ish. My timeline's not perfect, guys. I will do better in the longer video, but I'm trying to kind of fill the hole in here because I noticed in the comments section of my quick video that people are like, what the hell is going on? Some of you are very frustrated, and I did not mean to do that. But I want to say about 9-ish days ago, so about a week ago, let's just say, Rachel put a comment up in her, excuse me, in her community tab, I apologize, talking about how she basically wanted to notify her audience that she had, I don't know how to describe all of this exactly, but she had, in the pursuit of trying to get these receipts from Emily, she had offered Emily financial compensation. And in the community post, Rachel had said that, I assume the post is still up. If you want to go to Rachel's, Rachel Reacts channel and look in her community post section to read it, the statement there. I assume it's still up. I have not checked. All right. Today still being November the 3rd. It is now 1-ish, 1 p.m.-ish. So if it's not there, I'm sorry, but I have it screenshot, so when I do a longer video, I will be able to read it to you guys. Anyway, she said she was wanting to do bunches of videos. She just wanted to keep dropping these receipts. And these videos were doing well for her. And she was getting these receipts directly from Emily. And the Amberverse community was really, I don't know if enjoying is the word, but her views were doing very well with these videos. All right. And the last video that she had released before this public statement, she had done a premiere for to the tune of like 198K views, which is pretty damn good. All right. And she had, I want to say 90% of the reaction community in her premiere chat, along with like a good chunk of just the reaction watching community. So, I mean, that's a big deal. I'm not going to pretend like it's not. And I don't want people to like, psh, because it was a big deal. Okay. There were names in there. All right. So that all being said, 2 days after that, I'm trying to put this in a timeline for you guys. I apologize. I'm in my car, obviously. 2 days after that premiere, Rachel took the video down. Rachel took the video down because she said in that community post that Emily had revoked her permission, her consent for Rachel to use her voice, because there had been a voice message in that premiere, well, in that video, and that Emily had revoked her consent for Rachel to use her voice in that video. So Rachel took the video down. And at the time I said, you know, that's a decision for Rachel to make, and I don't think she had to do it via TOS, but at the time, that's why we, the community, thought that video had come down. Later, I want to say a few days later, after that message, there was a new message in the community tab of Rachel's channel that said, hey guys, this is what happened. I had offered to pay Emily money for receipts, but Rachel said that they were specifically for financial receipts. I think actual receipts, not like proverbial receipts, for the trip that Emily had taken to drive Amber home from Wisconsin back to Oklahoma when Emily brought Amber home after Amber overstayed her welcome in Michigan when she tried to move in, and it failed. So Rachel wanted those financial receipts, and in Rachel's statement, Rachel said a lot of things, but the key moments in there were Rachel said something to the effect of, I was upset, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not direct quoting. Rachel had said something to the effect of, I was upset at how Amber had screwed over another ex. I was still mad about how Amber had screwed Beck over with Beck's inheritance money. So I was offering to compensate Emily with half of the proceeds, or not proceeds, half of the income from the financial video that hadn't been made or released yet. And then Rachel said that after the premiere of the video that I mentioned earlier, that after the premiere of that video, Emily had asked if she could have half of the proceeds of that video, not the video that they had actually discussed. And that Rachel naively, she said yes. And then I don't remember what happened next, but Rachel something decided that Emily was just playing with her and toying with her, and so Rachel decided not to give Emily the money from either video, because the one video had never been released, and that had been the original video. I am now in the parking lot of a grocery store, by the way, so if you hear carts or something, that's why. But so Rachel decided not to give Emily any money, and she was going to donate the half of the money from the video that she would have given to Emily to a charity. And that was basically the statement. I'm sure I'm forgetting something important. Again, I'm doing this off the top of my head in my car, okay? I will do better in the longer form video. I'm just trying to put context out there for everybody because I didn't do it in the last one. And I really do apologize for that. So that is leading up to today. All right. Or this past weekend. Okay. So, give me a second to kind of collect my thoughts. All right. Rachel put out that statement. In the comments section of that statement, that community statement that Rachel put on her page, the the audience was torn because people were of two minds. There were of three minds. They either hated the fact that she had offered to give Emily money, and they thought that was gauche and garish. I think those are the same words, and I'm mispronouncing one of them. They didn't give a shit, and they were just like, ooh, receipts. Or they thought it was okay. And they were like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. So there was a divide, and that is to be expected. Anytime money gets thrown into these types of situations, it tends to divide the community in usually these ways. And that's just how it is. That's because there are people who don't like when money gets involved in these things, and they tend to not trust individuals when money becomes involved. All right. And that's just how it is. I, at the time when that statement came out, I had, even though I was making videos critical of Emily and Emily's receipts, and I was critical of Rachel's support, or apparent support of Rachel. Yep. I was critical of Rachel's apparent support of Emily in her videos. I, at the time, said I wouldn't have offered to pay Emily money for the receipts, but that was Rachel's channel and Rachel's decision. I wouldn't have done it. I didn't think it was a great idea, but, it was Rachel's channel. Hopefully Rachel had learned. Rachel was offering to make amends by donating the money, and that I thought was going to be the end of it. And it's not the first time that Rachel had kind of done this sort of a thing with Emily, no less. It was either earlier this year or late last year, Rachel had made a video using DMs between Emily and some anonymous person, and she had made a video with them, and she did not have permission from Emily to share a DV story, Emily's DV story, and people got really mad. And did Rachel leave the video up? I can't remember, but either way, Rachel was like, okay, yeah, I know this was in bad taste. I took the video down, and the proceeds from that video I donated to a DV shelter or DV charity in the UK, because Rachel's based out of the UK. That all made sense. So that was the first time. This is the second time, or this was the second time. All right. I think I'm giving you guys timeline here again off the top of my head. So while I was gone over the weekend, some anonymous person in the Discord that Rachel was apparently in with other reaction channels. I am not cool enough to be in that one, nor do I want to be at this point. I don't think I wanted to be ever. But she was in that Discord with other channels that include Jawbone and Hecticana. This is relevant because their names are on the transcripts or on the screenshots. I'm sorry, my nose itches. That's the only reason I'm bringing their names up, by the way. So whoever was taking these screenshots and sending them to Charlie Gold, again, this is relevant because Charlie is apparently going to be releasing a video later today. Today is Monday. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it because I'm guessing this is where we're going to have a lot more context. At the risk of having to eat my words later, Charlie has been doing some really great deep dive expose videos lately. I've been enjoying them. And I feel like every time I say something nice about another reaction channel, I end up having to eat dirt or eat crow. So I don't think I'll have to do that with Charlie, though. Charlie's one of the channels that I was mentioning earlier who kind of had a kerfluffle and came out of it stronger. So I'm looking forward to Charlie's video later, is what I'm trying to say here. But whoever took these screenshots sent them to Charlie. Charlie started sharing them on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. Started sharing them on Twitter They took the internet by storm. They took Girl World by storm. Let's not pretend like we're bigger than we are. And I was on vacation. Well, okay, I was gone for the weekend. It's not really vacation. I was just gone for the weekend. And these screenshots, again, I've only seen them through another reaction channel, and I've only vaguely gone over them through the screenshots that my mods and my Discord. I don't own the Discord. I am in another Discord, not that Discord. But I've only started looking at them, is my point. All right. So I am not intimately familiar with them. Okay. However, there are statements that Rachel and Jawbone and Hecticana, those two not so much, but there are statements that Rachel makes in these conversations on this Discord that are not great. Things such as Rachel admits to effectively seducing or flirting with Emily in order to get access to these receipts, to get access to Emily's story. Rachel does admit that she offered to pay, which we already knew that. And Rachel talks about how much the video made, which is not that huge of a deal. I mean, I kind of expected, when I saw the numbers that video pulled, I kind of expected it to be a fairly high grossing video, but she gave it an actual dollar amount, which I don't know if I would brag about. Sorry, my hand's going numb. Give me a second. Sorry about that. There we go. I don't know if I'd brag about any one particular video exactly how much it grossed, but that's just me. That being said, we now know how much that video made, and so we know how much half of that video is. The things in particular that, I mean, in general, it's all very disappointing to me in general, but the things that really kind of, the things that I am actually the most disappointed in, because I am disappointed in all of it, honestly. The things I am most disappointed in are the treatment of the conversation around Beck, the conversation around whether she was going to donate the money to Beck or not. Sorry, I think they're collecting the carts, so I don't think it's that loud. I think you guys are fine. So Rachel I think Rachel put a comment up in her community section about give me a second, guys, sorry. Can I pause this? Hang on. Rachel had put up a comment somewhere in her community area talking about how she had decided to donate the money to Beck because her the comments under the post that she had made were very pro giving the money to Beck, because Beck, if you don't know, is going through some very heinous health issues, and I'm not opening a conversation up to your opinion on Beck. It's irrelevant, honestly. The point is, the decision to donate the money to Beck had been brought up. It had been made. And then in the Discord conversation between Rachel, Jawbone, and Hecticana, it comes out that Rachel doesn't actually want to donate the money to Beck because it doesn't feel right to her. She wants to donate it to an actual charity that has an actual charity number because she wants to write it off on her taxes. And to me, like, the pragmatist in me can understand wanting to write it off on your taxes because it's like $3K. I get that part. I really do. However, I just want people to quit shitting on Beck. Either leave Beck the fuck alone or quit shitting on Beck. That's all I really want in life. Well, and one of the many things I want in life, but I'm just tired of people bringing Beck up in Girl World and Amberverse conversations like some kind of, does the honking help? Like some kind of weapon or shield or gotcha point. And then turning around and just shitting on them. So and this was just another example of that happening, in my opinion. If Rachel had no intention of actually doing anything positive for Beck, bringing Beck up as part of the conversation about why she wanted to assist Emily, goddamn names, Emily financially, what was the point of bringing Beck up, honestly, I guess was my point. So that disappointed me. Whether Rachel ends up giving the money to Beck or not, again, I can't make Rachel do anything. None of us actually can. And that's going to be Rachel's decision. That's Rachel's decision. And, personally, I wouldn't have brought it up myself if I wasn't going to follow through with it. If I say I'm going to do X, then I'm going to do X, which also means if I said I was going to pay Emily half of the money of a video, then that means I'm going to pay Emily half the money of the video because that's what I said I'm going to do, which is another reason why I wouldn't do it. But there we are. So that's a big chunk of it. The overall tone of the screenshots and just the way Rachel was talking in the screenshots was not great. Now, and I do understand that, text is very hard to, it's very hard to understand intent through text because you can't really hear the voice inflection. You can't see body language. It's hard to really understand intent through text. However, it didn't sound great. There were some verbal cues used. There were emojis used, and it wasn't great. In my opinion, my personal opinion. So that's another reason. I feel like there's a third thing I should be bringing up, but my brain is just not braining. I have been driving all day. I have excuses. So that hopefully is more explanation than I gave you guys in the first video, but now you have a much longer video to sit through. And I don't need to go more into my personal feelings because I've already done that. And I, again, apologize for vague posting. I did not mean to do that. And I hope that those of you who were upset about the vague posting make your way to this video because I did not mean to do that. And yeah, I hope you guys understand why I am not, why I am disappointed. This, in my opinion, is we're just gonna have to sit through this, guys. I'm sorry. Hey, it's 2 p.m. This is what you get when I film in my car. I'm sorry. I told you it was Monday. Anyway, in my opinion, this is fuck up number 3. This is the biggest one. I just can't. I can't keep doing this. Like I said, it's possible this is all just being taken out of context. Maybe there's something, I don't know. The hope blooms eternal, springs eternal, whatever. But for now, I can't. I can't. So that's where we're at right now. And at the risk of rambling, I'm going to stop now. Again, apologies for being vague. I hopefully have given you enough of a timeline that you can follow along with what's going on. I will, as I said, be making a longer, better formulated video. That'll come out later this week, and that will not be in 2 parts because I failed to give you enough information in the first one. And that's all I've got for you guys. Just throw an emoji down there if you don't want to leave a comment. And if you're one of the people that I accidentally vague posted on, I apologize, because again, I for whatever reason, I just thought everybody knew what was going on, and I should not have done that. And I apologize for those of you that I did that to. And I will see everybody hopefully in the longer form video when I go over all of this in a better way. And until then, enjoy your Monday. Bye!